From the North Country's news station, 7 News Tonight starts now.
Tonight on 7 News, with exactly 1 calendar year to go before the presidential election, a new CBS poll shows the former president taking a slight lead over the current commander-in-chief if they went head-to-head in 2024. Plus, the basketball season begins for the Champaign and Crimson. The Lady Cannoneers host Jamestown in the 2023 opener. But first, with just days left before ballots are cast, we hear from the 4 Watertown City Council candidates vying for a seat in the city's chambers. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zach Grady. Brendan Straub is off tonight. Watertown City Council candidates are on the campaign trail. The election is now less than 48 hours away. 7 News reporter Chad Charette caught up with the candidates to get a gauge on their hopes for Tuesday's election and what their plans will be if they win.
Leonard Spaziani started Sunday morning at the Salvation Army's pancake breakfast. With the election right around the corner, he tells us he's optimistic, but he hopes to see a larger voter turnout come Tuesday.
I feel pretty good going into it. I mean, it all depends on the amount of voters that get out, and people are still changing their mind. It's one of those things. Got to vote. It's simple. And I'll talk to you Wednesday about the outcome.
If he's elected, Spaziani says he has his sights set on 2 main goals.
The water purification and the hydro, most important, because without them, the city cannot, as far as I'm concerned, the city cannot move forward.
On Davidson Street, TJ Babcock is going door to door, feeling optimistic as he speaks with potential voters face to face.
It's nuts. It's a lot of work. It takes up a lot of your time, but it's been pretty good. I think it's been very positive.
Babcock says he'll prioritize improving the city's water purification plant, but he would like to see better sidewalks put in throughout the city.
I think the time for talking is done. It's time to get it started. I want to see some things to where we can start drawing in some small businesses to the area to bring back some business to Watertown.
Ben Schoen is also out Sunday shaking hands with constituents, finding himself on East Flower Avenue.
Feeling good, confident with my door-to-door. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive.
Similarly, the city's water issues are atop Schoen's priority list. However, he says he wants to right some wrongs he believes are plaguing the current council.
Spending is a big issue, and a lot of people are still talking about the decorum of our council, the way the meetings are run, and their dissatisfaction with that.
A long road is what Dr. Robert Kimball calls the campaign trail. The council candidate says he's confident in his chances at a spot on city council.
Today I'm feeling reasonably confident. But it comes and goes.
Kimball echoed the other candidate's sentiments regarding water. He says he'd like to address the zoo situation as well, though. He'd also like to see something done about the vacant properties throughout the city.
Walking around the city, it's hard to miss that there are a lot of houses that appear vacant and not well kept up, and I want to look more into that. I'm not sure exactly what the limits are of what the city can do in that case, but I do want to look at that a little more closely.
Early voting is already taking place, and Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. Chad Charette, 7 News.
While there's still a ways to go, new polling suggests if there was a rematch between President Biden and former President Trump, it's Trump who right now has the slight edge. Voters are saying it's both domestic and international issues that are fueling support for the former president. CBS's Skylar Henry with the details.
Mr. President, any progress on the humanitarian pause?
Yes. President Biden over the weekend signaled that there could be a break in the fighting from Israel's war with Hamas to get more aid in and more hostages out of Gaza, as top administration officials overseas look to tamp down concerns about a wider conflict in the region.
The humanitarian pause or pauses could make a positive difference.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are expressing their concerns about Israel's deadly siege.
They're an independent country, but we have a right to say, sorry, you need a new military strategy. Go after Hamas, but that means, do not kill innocent men, women, and children.
Thousands of pro-Palestine demonstrators converged on Washington on Saturday, demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. New CBS News polls show that while Democrats and Republicans think the U.S. should send weapons and military aid to Israel, a number of far left-leaning Democrats are in opposition of the support.
Everybody needs help. There are innocent lives at stake everywhere.
Voters' thoughts on foreign policy, along with several hot-button issues, including the state of the economy and abortion, all help former President Trump in the 2024 race for the White House.
We're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden, and we are going to make America great again.
If he were to receive his party's nomination, polls show Trump with a 3% lead over President Biden in a possible head-to-head. The poll also shows the number of Americans who think things are going badly in the country has hit a high for the year at 73%. Skyler Henry, CBS News.
10th Combat Aviation Brigade found themselves off post Sunday to take a flight over Patriot Way. The 10th Mountain General Support Aviation Battalion helped kick off Sunday's commanders. You can see them practicing here before the game. The picture posted earlier on Sunday on the battalion's Facebook page. We'll head over to the Weather Center now. Kris Hudson joins us. Kris, what can people expect as they wake up tomorrow to start their work week?
Quiet outside. As far as temperatures, it's going to be a nice, cool, crisp morning for us, and it's a cool night out there as well. Temperatures will actually start rising just a little bit for some of us as some cloud cover does move on in. You can see really not a whole lot going on across the entire Northeast, brought to you by Doors Plus and Garage Roselle's in service. But here closer to home, you can see just dealing with some cloud cover out there. If you have a break in the clouds, get away from the city or village lights, the light pollution. Look to the north, and you're probably going to have to use your phone with long exposure or a camera with long exposure because you. But as far as going throughout the day tomorrow, we will be warming up into the upper 40s. Winds will be becoming quite gusty as well, and rain will be coming into the forecast as well by the time we get towards the evening hours. All in all, I think Monday will be a nice day, and then things start going downhill once the sun does go down.
What, at 4:30 now?
Well, it seems like it starts more at noon now.
Thanks, Kris. And beyond, Taylor Swift, the conference era at Indiana University. Plus, Rob Krone's got your North Country sports report, including Syracuse hoops, Orange football, and girls swimming championships.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News Tonight with Brendan Straub. Weekend weather with Kris and your North Country sports with Rob Krone.
Today was a fairy tale for Taylor Swift fans. Indiana University enchanted Swifties from across the country over the weekend. Tay-Tay fans were ready for it as the university hosted Taylor Swift, the conference era. More than 1,000 Swifties put their name on a blank space to attend the sold-out academic conference. Discussions will include the singer's run affecting the global economy and tourism. Also, how her music hits different, shaping the music industry to what it is today. The conference will also tell a long story short, highlighting Taylor Swift as a person, not just the pop star.
I think having a platform for scholars to speak about her and to have these scholarly discussions in this accessible way was just really important to us and really was something that we wanted to prioritize and do.
Friends, family, Taylor Swift, everything else, probably.
Taylor's version of her album 1989 is currently the one, sitting atop album charts. She recently re-released the album after some bad blood over ownership rights. The 52nd running of the New York City Marathon hit the streets of the 5 boroughs Sunday morning. Tamara Tola of Ethiopia took the top spot in the men's open division, finishing with a time of 2 hours, 4 minutes and 58 seconds, a new course record. Helen Obiri of Kenya won the women's open division, finishing the race in 2 hours, 27 minutes and 23 seconds.
The 52nd running of the marathon. We'll have 50,000 finishers coming in strong, representing 153 nations and all 50 states.
Marcel Hug and Catherine DeBrunner are the winners of both the men's and women's wheelchair divisions. Kris, what can we expect as we head into the weekend?
Well, if people at home couldn't tell, we have a Swiftie in the studio here. He is a big Swiftie fan. As far as the weather, we will have swift conditions moving in for Monday. Details on that coming up next.
Now, tonight's weather.
Well, we had a lot of sunshine as we went throughout the day today. As far as out there right now, we're keeping it nice and dark, and the clouds starting to build on in for us here in downtown Watertown. You can see really not a whole lot going on. Like I said, clouds building in. Our current temperature is 35 degrees. Now, just 30 minutes ago, before the clouds built on in, our temperature was at 32. So as the clouds move on in tonight, we'll actually warm up just a little bit. But then if we see a break in the clouds, our temperatures will drop back down. We will be staying in those lower 30s, though, for us overnight tonight. And you can see some of us even in the upper 20s, 28 degrees right now for Ogdensburg. I bet you're seeing some clear skies there. 34 degrees for Messina, 33 Canton, 28 for Old Forge out towards the Adirondacks, and 32 degrees by the time we get over towards Barnes Corner. So temperatures, they are cool out there this evening, more seasonable in nature, about where we should be for this time of the year. And our high was seasonable as well. We got up to 49 degrees for us, nowhere close to the record high of 77 set back in 2002 last year. And our sun has officially started to set before 5 o'clock today because, of course, we fell back an hour last night. So we got an extra hour of sleep, but that means we lost a little bit of an hour of daylight in the afternoon. And then as far as going throughout tomorrow, our highs will be getting up into the upper 40s. Rain, not a concern during the day. As we get into the afternoon and evening hours, our rain chances start increasing, and with that comes the chance for increasing winds. And I think tomorrow our bigger story is going to be the winds rather than the precipitation, because by the time we get towards tomorrow morning, we're a little breezy at times, but nothing unusual. Winds coming out of the south by this time. As we go towards noon, winds starting to pick up for some locations. By the evening hour, say around 6 o'clock, that's when everyone starts seeing those winds increasing, gusting upwards around 30 miles per hour. And then as we get towards the overnight, say midnight, look at these winds. They'll be gusting up around 40, 45 miles per hour coming out of the south. So yeah, it is going to be quite breezy for us as we go overnight Monday into Tuesday. And then as we go throughout Tuesday, it's going to be a breezy day as well. As far as that rain for us on Monday, really not going to be that big of a concern, just dealing with some cloudy conditions on and off throughout the day. I do think that we see a little bit of sun here or there poking through the cloud cover. But then that rain does move in as we get in towards the afternoon hours. Very light in nature. Most of the rain does wait till we get towards the overnight hours Monday into Tuesday. How is this looking on our extended forecast? Well, you can see Monday we have highs in the upper 40s. It's going to be windy by the time we get towards the evening hours and overnight. Tuesday on election day, voting, everyone go out and vote. We do have rain showers in the forecast, not looking like all day steady rain, but we do have a little bit of rain. By the time we get towards Wednesday night and Thursday, we have that wintry weather coming back into the forecast, a little bit of rain, sleet, freezing rain, and potentially some snow for some locations. Nothing major, but a little bit of snow could be in the forecast.
Well, Kris, I'm going to spend Monday trying to shake it off, the fact that you outed me to the North Country about being a Swiftie. But future meteorologists, what can they do on Monday? How can they have a little fun?
Well, we have a storm spotter class at Indian River High School tomorrow on Monday at 6 p.m. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but here's just a few things that we're going to be talking about from John Hitchcock at the National Weather Service in Buffalo.
Local spin on this training, so we have a lot of examples of previous storms. Of course, we had two pretty significant snowstorms last winter, one in November, and of course the Christmas blizzards. We're going to talk in detail about how those developed, how they impacted the area. So we'll discuss all the various ways we get impactful winter weather in the North Country. We'll talk about how to properly measure snow and ice, how to report to the National Weather Service, and how to stay safe during a winter storm.
All right, Kris, real quick, how can people find out more about that class?
Yeah, so there's two ways. Go to weather.gov, or even better, go to wwnytv.com, and all the details are right there on the homepage. We'll be
The winning evening lotto numbers for Sunday, the daily 317 and the win 4 1446. CBS's Christine Lazar with an eye on consumer news tonight, including changes in the price per pound for your Thanksgiving this year and the latest of the country's employment numbers.
There's evidence the job market is slowing. The Labor Department says 150,000 jobs were created in October, down from previous months. The recent auto workers' strike dragged down the number, but those employees are now returning to work after reaching tentative agreements with car companies. Toyota is recalling more than 1.8 million RAV4 SUVs over a potential fire risk. If the hold-down clamp on some replacement batteries isn't tightened correctly, the battery can move during a turn, causing the engine to short circuit. And there's good and bad news about this year's Thanksgiving feast. Turkey prices are down anywhere from 9 to 13%, according to a new report from Wells Fargo. The price of ham, however, is up about 5%. Fresh cranberries are 20% cheaper than this time last year, but canned cranberries are up almost 60%. And those are some of this week's top consumer stories. I'm Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, Rob, Sunday, Syracuse sectionals. What else can we look forward to?
College basketball, the JCC women opening their season. Highlights up next.
Now your North Country sports.
It's time for your Toyota Sports Report. The JCC women's basketball team opening their 2023-24 season today at McVean Athletic Center, hosting Jamestown Community College. The game marking the return to the bench for former Cannoneers women's basketball coach Jeff Wiley. First quarter off the break, Bridget Watson finishes with the lay-in, JCC by 2. In transition, Daylin Alcock lays in 2 of her team-high 18 points, JCC down 2. Then it's Delaney Wiley burying the 3-ball from the wing. She finished with 12 on the day. Corey Nichols finds the open lane, lays in 2. Lady Cannoneers on top 8. Abby Raven gets the baseline jumper to fall as JCC rolls past Jamestown 63-41. SU men's basketball team opens up its 2023-24 season tomorrow night at the JMA Wireless Dome as they play host to New Hampshire in a 7 o'clock tip-off. Syracuse wrapped up its preseason on Wednesday with an 86-61 win over St. Rose. Judah Mintz led 5 Orange players in double figures with 20 points. Syracuse wrapped up its exhibition schedule with a perfect 2-0 record, and first-year coach Adrian Autry likes what he sees from his team heading into the regular season.
You know, the one thing about this team is it's a competitive group. You know, they love to compete. They love to play. It's a group that is starting to really gel, getting close. So, you know, the one thing about this is that I don't worry about if these guys want to play or not. So, and they're going to compete and they're going to fight. You know, this team has some fight. You know, our preseason has been very competitive, very spirited, and I see that. Still up until now, and I don't think that's going to change. I know that's not going to change. You know, whether we make baskets or not, I don't know, but I know we're going to compete this year for sure.
Section 10 Girls Swimming Championships held at SUNY Potsdam. 6 Section 10 records were set during the meet, including the 200 medley relay won by Canton's Lexi Stuntz, Caitlin Redfern, Maya Thomas, and Tessa Alguire. Canton's Gretchen Braun in the 200 freestyle and the 100 butterfly, including state qualifiers in both events. Canton's Caitlin Redfern in the 200 individual medley and 100 breaststroke, including state qualifier in both events. And in the 400 freestyle relay, Canton's Gretchen Braun, Skylar Sanderson, Caitlin Redfern, and Lexi Stuntz. Other winners included 50 freestyle Canton's Tessa Alguire, 100 free St. Lawrence Central's Ella Bellinger, 500 freestyle and 100 backstroke Canton's Lexi Stuntz, 200 freestyle relay Canton's Mesa Moomin, Maya Thomas, Tessa Alguire, and Gretchen Braun. Canton with 323 points swam away with its 12th straight Section 10 title and now undefeated in 141 straight Section 10 meets. Big battle was for second place with Potsdam overtaking St. Lawrence Central. Malone finished 4th, followed by Ogdensburg, Messina, and Gouverneur. Just 4 area high school football teams remain alive in the postseason after this weekend. In Section 3 Class B, the Indian River Warriors will be in search of a sectional title. The Warriors will meet New Hartford a week from today at the JMA Wireless Dome in the Section 3 Class B title tilt. Kickoff set for 3 o'clock. In the Section 3 Class C championship, the General Brown Lions will look to defend their title as they meet Adirondack at the JMA Wireless Dome, with kickoff in that contest set for high noon. 2 Section 10 teams begin state play this week. In Class B, the OFA Blue Devils will take on Peru in regional action at Potsdam High School on Friday night at 7 p.m. And in Class C, the Gouverneur Wildcats will meet Saranac Central in a regional contest at Plattsburgh High School, with kickoff slated for 7 p.m. The SU football team dropped its 5th game straight on Friday night, falling to Boston College 17-10. Carlos Del Rio filling in for the injured Garrett Schrader threw 4 picks in the loss. Orange offense reaching a new low with just 37 passing yards. Syracuse is the only team in the ACC without a conference win, and next meets Pittsburgh at Yankee Stadium this weekend.
I think you've seen it. You know who we've got out there. You've seen our issues with who's on the field and who's not on the field. But we're not going to use those as excuses. We're going to line up and we're going to play every week. And we're going to do everything we can, not only to make our family proud, but to make the community and the university proud as well. I believe in this football team. I would be very careful if you try to not believe in them because they have a tendency to get things done. And I still believe they're going to be able to get things done this year.
And the Bills lose to the Bengals 24-18, which leads us into trivia.
Yeah, Josh Allen took one to the house tonight, moving into second in NFL history, 44 rushing touchdowns. Rob, who you got? Who's number one?
I'm going to say Cam Newton.
You're going to win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Cam Newton, 75 touchdowns. We're right back after this. For Rob and Kris, thank you for joining us.